Today we're going to make an profile view, and we're also going to display every user on this website in a pagination. So every 6 user there will be a new page for this. This automatically updates, so if we go ahead into our database and change, let's say, the name of the person to John Smith, and we then we just go ahead here, then it will automatically update. It won't update if you don't refresh the page or click on the other page. That's one of the things is. But this is a built-in pagination with Laravel. As well, you'll be able to click on the user's profile here, and it will display the name of the user. To make a new project in Laravel. So I'm just going to call this profile. Just name I pick up. So inside here we have the actual code, but we are only going to work in this folder. So what we're going to do now is we're going into the environment when it is generated in a few seconds here. And then we are going to enter our database settings. So actually what I want to do, I want to use this database, but I want to delete all of them. And then we are going to enter database name here and the port. And I think I just call this profile, yes, and you just enter what your database name should be. This is also going to be easy to integrate into your own Laravel project, whatever it is. So let's start out by going into making a PHP artisan makeup. So we need to go into the profile. So then we will do this here. And what we are going to do now is we are going into our resources here, and we are going to make a new file. I'll just call this profile. Sorry, wait, into the view here. Profile.blade.php. We are going to extend this by layouts.add. And we are going to give it a section here, content. And what we're going to do now is we're going to add an extra field into our migration and into our controllers here. So before I run the migration, I want to be sure that everything is set up. So I will start out by going into a user model here, and I will just here enter the username. And then we are going to make sure that it will be safe in our database when we create a profile by going into registration here. I'll just make a new one of these and make it unique to users and call this username instead. Then we also want to make a new one over here, and this one just call this username. So what this is going to do is it will validate if the username is filled in. That means that is required, so you cannot leave this field empty. Then it is required to be a string and a maximum character of 255, and it needs to be a unique username, so you cannot create two usernames with Matilde, for example, or John or Tom, whatever. Then down here we are going to, when you click the field, and if everything is alright, it's validated, then you will save it into a database. And what we are going to do now, before we run the migration, is we are going to set it up in the database here. So just here, I will call this user, and we'll make this unique. And Now you should actually only go into the authentication here and go into registration, make a new form group with username, all of the places. So I'm just going to change it. What we are going to do now is we are going to run a migration. So you just enter PHP artisan migrate like this, and then it will create all of the database tables you need. As you can see here, we have the username inside here. So what we should be able to now is actually, if we just, oh, sorry, that was my mistake, go into PHP artisan serve, then we should be able to create a new user. And I will just call this Matilda between this name here. And I just have this username here. So now we are logged in and we have the username in the database table as well, as you can see here. So what we are going to do now is we are going to make a new controller. So I will just make a new terminal. And I will make PHP artisan make controller, profile controller. And what this will do is it will create a new controller inside here. So I'm just going to make it public function show, and we are going to leave this as it is for now. So what we are going to do now is we are going into our routes and going to make a new route here. So what I will do now is I will make route get, and we will say profile username and link it to a controller. So what this will do is whenever there's entered a username into the URL profile slash something, then it will be going into here, and we are going to put in a username here, and let's just return username for now to see what happens. So if I type profile, it will display this, but if I type this, it will display this. That's a problem with this, and the problem is we do not check if this user exists. In fact, we do not even grab data from the database table. So we are going to do that now. So to do that, we are going to include the user up here, model as we see up here. And I'm going to type where username, and we're going to make user equal this here, and we're going to check here. And what we're just going to make is return user doesn't exist. So this is if the user does not exist, and this is if it exists. So what I would like to do now is I would like to return a view if it exists. So we're going to return profile with user here, and then if it doesn't exist, we're going to make a dd user. So let's test this out now. Okay. I don't think it works, but let's just check it. So there's an error. So I think we have a problem with the profile controller here with the return view. Oh, we need to grab the first, of course. And if we type something like this, it will just display null. If it exists, it will just display the username here. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to display this into a, so it looks like a title. And just so you can see this all work, we can as well also display, let's say, a user ID and username. And as you can see now, we have the ID one and name Matilda. Of course, this is not how you should display a user profile for someone. You should actually go ahead and design it all with Bootstrap or whatever framework you use from scratch, and then make it look great and display all the content you need. So what we're going to do now is we're going to our home controller here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make a variable that's called user, and we're going to make it equal to user, and make sure to include this up in your top of your page. We are going to paginate this by 5. Then we are going to include it in our view by using compact users. And what we should be able to do now is going into our home up here and be able to delete this for each users as user. Then we are just going to end this. And we should be able to display, let's say, the user name. Right, so we need to type in users and not use the variable here. So if we go ahead and refresh now, it displays this name. If we go ahead and make a new table in here, just gonna call this John with John Smith as name and john/app.com. And if you just go ahead and look at this now, we have new one for each here. So what we would like to do is just gonna go into, we are going into here, and we are going to display the ID of the user. We are going to display the name of the user with a link in it. So I'll make a route here with profile.view, I think we call it. Just gonna double check. Profile.show. So we are just gonna call this profile.show with the username in here, and we're gonna close this with like this. Then for each new line, we're just gonna make a break here. So we have each of these displaying to each of the user styles, and if we just go ahead and make a few more, and we can just change the pagination inside here, because that will be easy. You can always change this depending on how large your site will be, and if you have, like, let's see, 500 users, created, then you will need to have maybe each for each 10 user days. But in our case, we just put this on 3. And as well, before we can render this here, we're just gonna make this 3 users render. If we go ahead and refresh this now, I think we need to make one more table because okay, so if we just go into here and let's put this on 2, it doesn't render there. Okay, so there's an error here, and we forgot to put in echo on the render here, so it will render the page. And as you can see now here, this is rendered. For some reason, this last part of the video didn't get saved, so I need to remake this. So that's how you fix this. And as you can see, if we go ahead and make a new one here, just make a new here we can change this to Tommy and Tommy.com. And if we just hit here, and this will be here. So what you would most likely do is you will go into your home controller and do this by 5 or 10. So if we go ahead and refresh this now, we will only have 2 pages. So thank you for watching this video. Please click the like button and subscribe. And comment if you have any troubles with the code, and see you in the next video.